¿Qué onda? Thanks for watching Doing Life with Jenny. If you are new here, I am currently a Spanish teacher in the US, but I'm moving to Mexico, to the state of Hidalgo. Yes, this is a shirt I made a few videos ago, and yes, the treble clef sign did fall off. Those iron-on patches did not turn out so good after all, so next time I go to Mexico, I'll take the shirts and I'll pay someone to sew them on. In the previous video, we talked about why it's important to learn Spanish, or fill in whatever language before you move abroad. Today I'm giving you some tips on how to make friends abroad. This is especially important if you are moving abroad like I am. Tip number 1 is to learn the local language. That's what our last video was all about. Yes, you might find people that speak English fluently, but you're never going to really get to know the person unless you know their native language as well. Because like we mentioned, there are some things that just can't be expressed in one language that can be in another. It's just also a sign of respect. Maybe you do find that one friend that is fluent in English and isn't really bothered by you not knowing Spanish. But maybe you'll click with that person because of a common interest or personality trait, and maybe that's what their friend group is like, but their friends don't speak English. Well, now it makes it a little awkward to join their social circle if you can't fully integrate. Or maybe there's some kind of social gathering with their family, but you can't fully integrate because their family doesn't speak English. By knowing the local language, you can get invited to different social events or family gatherings. Not that you can't be invited if you don't know, Spanish in this case, but you're not going to fully be able to participate if you only know English. Spanish or no Spanish, how do you even meet people regardless of what language you'll be speaking with them? One of the best things you can do is just do your normal hobbies. In my case, I love to dance. I do all Latin dances and swing. So I just do my research, which usually is finding a group on Facebook, so I know where and when to show up to dance. In Mexico's case, once you get there, whether it be dancing, but at least in Mexico, whenever you show up to do that hobby, people are very welcoming. They're going to want you to participate with them. They'll ask you to dance. If you ask them to dance, they'll say yes. Again, dancing is just the example. But just do a Google search or a Facebook group search. Facebook usually works better, at least for Mexico. Type in the hobby and then the name of your city. On a similar note, you can sign up for a class. In my case, the obvious would be a dance class. When I went to Guadalajara, I signed up for a music theory class. It was something I already knew in English, I just wanted the Spanish terminology, and I wanted to be able to meet new people. After a few days in the class, I was going out to eat with people from the class. And don't overthink things. It can be as simple as joining the gym and just attending the classes that they offer, or even not a class, just showing up to do the machines. If you're comfortable approaching other people and starting a conversation. This last point I cannot stress enough. If you're always with your significant other or your friend, or you have family in town visiting, nobody's going to want to approach you because you look busy, they don't want to bother you, you already have company, so why would they approach you? You're going to seem way more approachable if you are alone. For example, a very common thing to do in Mexico is just to go to the city center in the evening or weekend and just walk around, sit down, and chat for a bit. Well, if you see there's a family sitting together or a couple sitting together, are you going to walk up to them and strike up a conversation? No. You might ask them for directions real quick. You might ask where they bought their taco because it looks delicious, but you're not going to sit down and have a conversation with them. Whereas if you're sitting alone, especially if there's somebody else that's alone, they're more likely to sit down and strike up a conversation with you. Or even if there is a small friend group of Mexicans that notice you're a foreigner, maybe they're going to strike up a conversation with you just out of curiosity, wondering where you're from, seeing if they can practice their English with you. And sometimes, just by being alone, it forces you to meet other people by default. For example, at some restaurants I've gone to, there weren't any tables available. In Mexico, it is acceptable if somebody is eating alone, taking up a table, and you're alone, You can ask if you can sit with him. Of course, maybe they might say no. But more than likely, they're going to say yes, and they're going to be friendly, and you're going to start a conversation. At least this is common at vegan restaurants in Mexico. Maybe we're just a bunch of hippies that are like free-spirited like that to strike up a conversation with strangers. But I would say at most restaurants in Mexico, it would at least be appropriate for you to ask, even if the answer is no. And I've been to a restaurant in Mexico where they had like normal seating and then like bar seating, and they tended to put the people that were dining alone at the bar seating. So like by default, you already kind of were eating as a group. People were really friendly, like passing the menu to each other, asking if they had eaten there before or where are you from. And then lastly, the tool that has been most effective for me, but is also the most dangerous, so I don't necessarily recommend it, is to use a dating app. No, you don't need to be looking for a partner to use the dating app. You just make it clear that you're new to the country, new to town, and you're looking to make friends. Let's be honest, half the people on the dating apps don't know what they're looking for anyway, or they know they're just looking for a friend or someone to go to dinner with. It's usually a low pressure kind of situation. Here are a few bonus tips. Everyone is more approachable with a dog. And if you think otherwise, there's something wrong. But by taking your dog out and about with you, it makes it easier because people will approach you if it makes you nervous to approach others. Because they'll be coming up asking to pet him or her, asking what's their name, age, what kind of breed it is, and whatnot, and it's just a low stress situation. And tip B, whatever you have in your hands, put it down. Nobody's going to approach you if you're like on your phone, if you're reading a book, because to them you look busy. It's like a barrier, like saying, please don't talk to me. But if you're kind of just glancing around, people watching, taking it all in, people are more likely to approach you. I hope you found this video very helpful, and if you have any more tips, please let everybody know in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to continue following me in my journey in moving from the US to Mexico, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Ciao!